You are now listening to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station, bringing to you daily health and information, where daily health is viewed as an ever-changing reality. All information and resources are based on the opinions of the host, unless otherwise noted. All information is intended to motivate, encourage, and inspire positive change and a healthier lifestyle. No information on this site should be used to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any disease or condition. Listeners are to make their own health decisions after consulting with their healthcare provider. This is your daily health.
Welcome. You are listening to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station, bringing you daily health. And today we are going to be talking about mental health awareness. How does it affect us daily? Because that is a daily challenge for a lot of people. Now, today I have a special guest who I'm allowing to co-host on today, Miss Yolanda. Everybody, welcome Miss Yolanda to the show.
Hey, how y'all doing? How you feeling today? Hi, I'm Yolanda, and I'm here with Tony today talking about mental health, as she said. And we just here to talk and answer a few questions we might think people would want to know. And
Yes, definitely. Definitely, because, that's one of those things that it happens. A lot of people are dealing with it, but not too many people are actually talking about it.
Right.
And some people are afraid to actually talk about it.
Right.
And especially with this pandemic going on, if you didn't have, or if you had it and didn't know you had the disorder, this pandemic brought it to the surface.
Right.
You didn't have a choice but to face it. Now, with the billions of people we have in the world, and I mean billions, that's one of those topics that really should be shared. Personal experience on down. It might not be you, it might be somebody you know. And if you're unsure or don't have much information on mental health, and there's different disorders, like you can get a whole PDF of a list on those alone.
Right.
But if you can kind of recognize from listening to this show, you might see some, behavioral traits in others that you go, oh, that's what that's about. Or that's a possibility.
Exactly.
Now, my personal experience, everybody knows I'm about crazy as hell. I'm not gonna lie to nobody. But that's the first step when it comes to mental health, is actually understanding, accepting it,
right,
and learning to, cope with it.
Right.
Because I got a few things going on, and it can be very challenging.
Yes.
And it does affect you daily, and it affects so many areas of your life. So that's why this is really important. So, Yolanda, what do you think?
Everything you just said is basically true. You don't know. People could walk around every day with a smile on their face, go on daily, do their daily chores, and be dealing with depression, bipolarness, schizophrenic, mood swings. I guess that's all into the bipolar, schizophrenic.
Yeah.
I am one of them.
Okay.
I basically just probably done dealt with that all my life. I think is running my family, bipolarness and mental issues.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But not this year, but like last year, I finally just say, okay, something is wrong with me. I don't know what it is, but something is going on and I need professional help.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure on the road to that, because that's a journey right there.
Yeah.
Having a mental illness is a journey, especially when you go all that time, and you don't really, especially when you're younger, you really don't pay too much attention to the body or listen to the body to know that, okay, definitely to understand yourself.
Exactly.
Because that's like the key right there. You wonder why today you're happy at 6 a.m., by 9 a.m., you might not be so happy. You might be a little grumpy. Moods might have, swung and whatnot.
Right. Like for me, and I'm pretty sure some people might can relate to what I'm about to say. Like, I noticed I haven't, let's make it clear, I haven't been diagnosed with nothing. I'm just saying I know from my behavior and what I done experienced and what other people done experience coming from me.
Yeah.
Like
what they saw and
and what they done, I done reacted towards
Mm-hmm.
them. Like, I might just I could wake up, be in a good mood, and just say, for instance, Tony, me and you could be having a conversation,
right.
and you might say something that you might not mean no harm.
A trigger,
and I'm like I'm being so defensive, and
mm-hmm.
you might say body language or eye contacts, or it's just crazy. I can't just say. You don't know the words to say when you have and to not make yourself sound crazy,
right?
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to pick the words to say, and it's not coming. I'm just gonna be real with y'all,
right?
Last Friday, I had a meltdown. Like, I thought about suicide. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
I thought about suicide. Like, I asked myself this question: why am I here?
Right. And a lot of people do go through that.
Yeah. And, I'm like, nothing's going right. I pray. It's like it's not being answered. And I'm like, why am I here?
Yeah, it's that waiting game. And it can be very frustrating when you're having one of those really depressive moments, mm-hmm. or you're feeling, like you might get triggered when you're talking, mm-hmm. and you might get a little bit angry, and then it's like, okay, wait, why am I angry?
Right.
Wait, why am I so sad?
Right.
Like, why is this happening? Yeah, and nothing is, fixing it like immediately.
Right.
And that right there, that's that little ball of so many of the emotions just kind of swimming together. And it's always healthy to be able to talk to somebody about it.
Right.
Because it does help to be able to talk about it. Talk about your experience, talk about how you're feeling.
Right.
And in hearing it, it's basically like you're learning, okay, I get a little angry around this time, or if something happened. Then you begin to understand the triggers.
Right.
And it's very important because we want people to be happy and healthy. So if that means going to see a professional, like going to see counseling, in which, getting to talk to a counselor, say, because I do it myself. I'll admit to you guys, I talk to a counselor. I talk to a counselor like 3 times a month,
right.
just to stay on somewhat a straight and narrow.
I think that's what I need to talk to a counselor or something.
Yes.
Like,
it's beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, because you get to talk through some of the things that may be bothering you. Some of the things, just having another person to be able to listen like that.
Right.
And with them being professional, they can tell you how to deal with certain things, like, because talking, I forgot what she said. It was like you're basically desensitizing yourself to some of those maybe things that happen to cause you to be upset or to be really sad.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much one of those things that we all should, as people, get the help that you need and not be afraid to do so. Don't worry about what anybody thinks about it.
Right.
Like, that really doesn't matter, and it's very helpful. And this is one of the things, like, you try to deal with that and then say you want to be in a relationship with someone.
Right.
And that can bring a certain difficulty to a relationship.
Oh, yes, it does. It really does. Experience from, like, now, like, I take my anger out on them. You're not going to be able to have a stable, happy relationship when you're dealing with depression or
anxiety.
Right, if you don't get the help that you need. If you're trying to do it on your own, you're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, when you try to do it on your own, it's almost as if you're not willing to get that help.
Right.
And it makes the task even harder because we're not really qualified to deal with those issues like that.
Right.
Like these professionals, they've went to school for this.
Right.
They can spot things and give us some coping skills, because that's like the biggest thing,
right,
especially in a relationship.
Yes.
Because little things can piss you off and send you on a freaking
yes.
just a tirade, and then later you're like, no, I didn't do that. Yes,
right.
you did.
Right.
Over something simple.
And it's not cute to blow up on your spouse or whoever, husband or
partner or whoever.
I hate blowing up on them when they haven't done nothing. And then when my rage and anger come down, I'll be like, why did I do that? Why did I say that?
Yeah, and then you gotta go through the
right.
apology, and then you're trying to explain yourself, and it's like, but you're still, in a sense, learning yourself, because that's the one thing that everybody has to remember. Nobody is perfect. And as long as you are alive, you will constantly learn.
Right. I'm learning every day.
Right. If you stop learning, you're already dead.
Right.
And we don't want that either.
No.
So if you feel maybe perhaps that you have some sort of mental disorder, it is best to go seek professional help.
Right.
That way they can walk you through the steps, so that way you're not going off on your partner.
Right.
And they sitting there looking like, well, what did I do?
Right.
Like, what? I don't understand. What did I do?
Right.
Because then it affects their emotions, their mood and state of mind, and
right.
And it just can cause a lot of confusion.
And it's so, and you make sure you have an understanding partner when you do have those issues, because they're going to ask you what's wrong, and you're not going to be able to explain to them what's wrong because you don't know what's wrong.
Or at that moment you're having like something
right.
like a mania moment, and you're not pretty much taking in much information at that moment, because those mania moments, and mostly that happens for people who have the bipolar disorder,
right.
where you have a couple of weeks there out of a month that you're kind of on a roller coaster. And when you're on that roller coaster, when you're in a relationship, you're putting another person
on the ride with you.
I mean, that's another person that didn't ask to be on that roller coaster,
right.
but they're loving enough to still be there
right.
to try to support you, even though they may not understand.
Right.
And it gets to a point, in a lot of ways, for a lot of people today, it's almost acceptable to be like, oh, that's Yolanda, she just crazy, girl, she just crazy.
Right.
But it's not being taken seriously, and that might actually be a slight cry for help, and people done missed it because, oh, she just crazy. Ha ha ha, she just crazy. Don't worry about her.
And I get called out like, oh, you crazy girl. No, I might be, but
yeah, like it's something there.
Yeah,
it's something there. I can't put my finger on it type situation,
right.
But I know something's not quite right.
Right.
And when you get that little feeling, go get help.
Yes, and I advise everybody, if you can't pay out of pocket, please get you some type of health insurance, something, for you will be able to go see that professional help. Any color, black, white, Indian, Chinese, purple, blue, yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Please go get that help.
Yes, and there are suicide prevention websites, phone numbers. There's help out there. There are support groups. If you want to send an email here, you can do so on oneradiotalk@gmail.com. Place it to the attention of Daily Health, and what our topic is, mental awareness. I appreciate all feedback, so tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you're feeling. If you're listening to this on YouTube, leave me a comment below. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think, perhaps your experience or anything like that, because this is one that should be talked about. Now, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it does get talked about a little bit, but it's also, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's not as real. You don't feel it like you would listening from here.
Right.
Because mental health is a challenge. It seriously is a challenge. And don't add kids in the mix.
No, yes.
You have a mental disorder and you have kids. That's
crazy.
Man.
Very crazy.
Yes, because that's more stress.
Right.
And a lot of stress for a person who has a mental disorder can be very hectic.
Mm-hmm.
It can be very hectic.
Very, because I have a 2-year-old at home, and I'm already up the wall, and he just make it worse. And I don't want to take my anger out on him, and I just go in the room and lock up for about 10, 15 minutes to calm down and
to decompress and everything.
So,
I mean, it's a challenge.
You want to get the help, especially when it's kids involved.
Yes, because they're going to need you, and especially when we talk about mental illness, one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that once you have children, it's a possibility you're passing this mental illness onto them.
Right.
Because more than likely, it's a possibility that what you have came from another relative who at that time didn't know what it was and didn't bother to go get checked for it. I mean, and every family has this crazy ass cousin, have a crazy uncle, crazy grandma.
Okay.
I mean, and they did things that as a child you're like, they're crazy.
Right. And see, back then, right now in 2021, it's more out there, depression, and people's willing to go out there and talk about it and go get the help. Back then in the 80s, 70s, 60s, nobody really just talked about that, especially in the black community.
Yes.
What goes on here stays here. Or
every family has almost been taught that.
Yeah.
What happens in the house stays in the house. But there's a downside to that statement, because when you do that kind of implants the seed that if you had a mental breakdown, or your mother or father or cousin or uncle, whoever, had a mental break in the home, and this happens every so often.
We keeping that shh. We don't need our business out. Shh.
Right. It's like they're so afraid of anyone finding out what they might think about them, how people might begin to react to them, but none of that matters.
Right.
Because you're sitting there going through this, and if you're doing that, you're not going to be going to talk to anybody to get any professional help.
Right. That's why.
To deal with it, make those healthy changes.
I'm 36, and I'm just now. You try to talk to people, but they thinking, okay, you just,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Right.
I need help.
Right.
And they just, like I said, it's the black community
it's brushed
down
off.
the road and
instead of going to get that help, because in a lot of ways it could save more lives.
Right.
It would be less people committing suicide if they were able to receive the help that they need, especially in rural communities, in the projects, everywhere.
Right.
And it's not just the black communities going through this. There's a lot of other people that are going through this as well. And it's the same thing. It just might be done in a different language. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's the same issue. And a lot of times for a lot of people, they've had really bad experiences as a child, a young adult, and they're holding on to a lot.
Right.
And there's some people out there who have PTSD.
Right.
But don't necessarily know that they do.
What I'm saying about the black community, what black person an average black person would take their kid to a professional psychiatrist to talk about that? Back in our days.
Not many. I even experienced some pushback as far as when it came to relatives or whatever, and it's like, okay, you're going to let these people play in your head. No, I'm trying to go get help.
Right.
Well, you should be able to deal with things with yourself by yourself. Yeah. And that's stigma right there.
Right.
That's not good.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't take those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying all black folks did that,
right.
But majority of us don't take that serious when another black person, oh, I'm depressed.
Mm-hmm.
They might think you just stressed because you ain't got no money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could really be stressed on top of that.
It's that, oh, they'll be all right.
Right.
Come tomorrow, they'll be all right.
Right.
But it's like, okay, have you noticed? If you're even stating the fact that, okay, come tomorrow, they'll be all right, then something is wrong. Because you obviously see a pattern, but you're not willing to either get in their business.
Right.
Because a lot of people be like, I mind my business, I stay to myself. I'm not finna be trying to get nobody no advice, blase.
Right, that's none of my business, so I ain't worried about it.
So it's like, oh, well, I can't do nothing about it, so not my responsibility. It's so many reasons and ways that people really kind of dance around it.
That's what I'm saying.
And not face it head on and deal with it.
Right.
Because that's the most important part, is dealing with it.
Right, and some people don't want to hear the truth.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You
like,
can say
they
that
rather
again.
cover up with a lie or just like sweep it under the rug and forget about it. That's what some people try to avoid going to those places, because all that's going to come out when they start asking you questions and stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to go back from your childhood. What happened to you in your childhood? What happened to you when you was, it's going to open up old wounds.
And that's the moment to do it. Because you're the only way. It's like you getting hurt. You got this big old gash on your leg, but all you did was stick a Band-Aid on it.
Right.
Okay, at some point, that wound need to be checked.
Right.
It need to be cleaned.
Right.
You got to clean that wound out.
Right.
Then you put a Band-Aid on it, but that's a help heal Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't stay on.
Right.
Because at some point, it's got to come off.
Right.
And that skin has got to breathe.
You got to be free.
So it can do its thing. The body knows what to do.
Right.
But the problem is, when we're not listening to our bodies, we're not noticing the patterns within ourselves.
Right.
We just kind of look over it. Oh, that ain't nothing. No, that's not important. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is very important.
Very, very important.
You got to talk to somebody, because you don't want to lose your job
Right.
for flipping out.
You want to have a
Because you
good
done got
relationship
triggered.
with your kids.
Exactly. Even with your relatives.
Right.
Because there's always a relative that, it's sad to say, nobody likes. And when you encounter this person and you have a mental disorder, you're liable to click off.
True.
So let's talk about that. Clicking off. What does that really mean for mental health? What is your opinion on that, Yolanda?
When I say that somebody clicked me off,
Yeah. You done clicked off.
I don't know. I don't really just know. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to click me off. Like,
I know. It gets to that
like,
point sometimes.
when you dealing with stuff like this, you don't know what to say. Like, I don't know. It just happens. It's just, I can't tell you when I'm going to be triggered. I don't know when.
It just happens.
It just happens. Like, I could just be here and,
Yeah.
It's like, you don't know. And you don't be meaning no harm.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, once it's over.
It's anger in you. It's anger.
Mm-hmm. It's like a cycle of emotions.
Yeah.
And when it cycles, that's actually, like one of those mood swings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have the soft mood swings, you have the medium, and then there's that in your face. I'm clicking off. I'm about to do something to you if you don't stop talking to me type of deal. And that's the point we don't want to get to.
Right.
Because if you do that on your job, you're finna lose your job.
Right.
If you do that with your partner, they can only take so much. You might lose them. You click off on the kids, and the kids like, I don't want to deal with you.
You're going to have a bad relationship with your kids. You're not going to be able to
function properly.
You're not going to be able to be around people. You don't want to be around people. That's one reason probably why I don't want to be around people. Well, people don't, because they don't want to go there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of, I've gotten, the older I've gotten, it's been, okay, I'm going to be around people a little less. And it's like, okay, if I'm around people, especially like the people you don't know and you have the mental illness, it's almost like you're out there, but you're alone.
Right.
And you're like, okay, now I think I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go back. And you kind of seclude yourself. And that's one of the symptoms.
Or you might feel like nobody don't like you, or like you say, you feel alone, like.
Or you think people are talking about you, and they might not even be talking about you, and that could be a potentially click-off moment.
Yeah.
Those little misunderstandings and stuff can turn into something major.
Right.
So a lot of people with the mental disorder, they're hush-hush, they're extra reserved, they kind of keep everything, it's like wearing a mask.
Right.
When you go outside your comfort zone, you're wearing a mask.
Right. You really is. That's true.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, at some point, we got to deal with that.
Right.
We got to deal with that issue because you can't separate yourself like that.
Right.
You're supposed to be whole.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so what do we do besides going to talk to a professional? Well, the coping skills are going to be the key thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that you can do to actually rein yourself in when you don't have somebody around you that can talk you down off that ledge or, pat you on the back or hug you and say, you know what, it's okay, it's cool, it's going to be all right. When you don't have that, you have to kind of find it for yourself.
Right.
So you need a supportive circle.
Right.
Whoever is in your little small circle, because most people with mental illness are not like out there buck wild unless they're youth.
Right.
Because the youth have no clue.
Right.
They just going with the flow of everything. If they click off, oh well, they don't care. They're not going to really think about it.
Right.
They're just going to react.
And you're right, because when I was young, I'm just speaking from experience with what I done did. When I was younger, like you say, you don't care. You just going with the flow, Then when you done got older, you just want to be shut in from the world.
You do, and to a certain extent, that is not healthy. It's actually not healthy because you have to be able to interact with people to be that good citizen.
Right.
You got to be able to speak up and talk to people. You have to be able to know how to interact with other people, even though you feel like nobody understands, because that's one of the issues that goes along with this.
Mm-hmm.
You automatically just, I don't know why, assume nobody's going to understand me.
Right.
That's not true.
There's somebody out there understand you.
It's a lot of people out there understand you.
It's a lot of people that's going through the exact same thing we talking about here.
Yes. I mean, from the anxiety to the depression to the anger to, you just want to scream.
Yes. You just want to stay in bed with the covers over your head.
Yeah.
I don't hear
Or
nothing.
you're the type that goes and just cleans the entire house like 3 or 4 times.
Right.
That OCD. That's a mental disorder.
Yeah, it really is.
All they want to do is clean. Everything has to be perfect.
Yes.
They're a slave to it.
That's in my family.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing out of place in. I gotta clean my house.
Signs.
What's the clean?
Right, but those are the signs. Those are your red flags right there.
And like my grandmother, she could come to my house. You supposed to come and visit.
Not clean up.
She wants to clean.
I've had that happen too. It's a nature thing.
I feel like some mental.
It's also a bit mental, but it's also kind of nature.
Yeah.
Because, they raised you and all of that. Mm-hmm. And so it's like if I went to my daughter's house and I saw something out of place, I'm going to clean it up.
But why? That's her place.
I know, but you can't help. It's almost like you can't help it. You cannot help yourself. You just got to do it. Like, you're not going to feel right about yourself if you don't.
I would never understand this. I would never understand it.
I can't help it.
Yeah.
Like, if I went to my sister's house, my brother's house, it didn't matter.
Right.
If I saw something dirty, I'm going to try to clean it up.
Yeah.
And then it's
that
like...
pisses me off.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? But I got to do it.
Right.
It's the urge to do it. And if you don't do it, then in your mind is sitting there clicking like a little clock. Tick, 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 tick. Why you didn't do it?
Bruh.
Tick, 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 tick. Why you didn't do it? You see it sitting there.
Right.
It's almost like, say there's a straw on the floor right now.
Okay.
And you walk in. Are you going to step over that straw? Or are you going to pick the straw up and throw it in the trash?
I would pick it up.
Same difference.
That's...
Same difference.
Yeah, but you're not going to go and get the vacuum cleaner and vacuum my floor. If you come to my house and if I got something on my floor, Now, I can pick it up myself. I done seen it. Obviously, it's not too important. You gonna go in my closet and take my...
Man, I clean your for
I mean, I feel like this is offending me. It's like...
And see, that's that misunderstanding right there. Because
and
that
see, that's
person
means... It's triggering me.
But that's that mental awareness.
But why would you do it when you know it's triggering me every time you come?
Do they know that?
Yes, I tell them.
Okay, what does that tell you?
I can't help it. I just got to do it. That's basically what you said.
Yeah.
I said, but mother, you come here to visit me, not to clean my house.
See, the coping skills in that moment is to, okay, because it's mom doing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my mama's cleaning up. I've watched my mama clean up ever since I was little.
Yes.
My mama loved me.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath.
I guess
Be appreciative.
See, I guess so. It
She
feel like
wants to help.
Like, it's like I'm taking it like, oh, you're not cleaning it. You know, I'm like getting offended. Like, this is my house. I do what I want when I want to.
You would actually be legit in feeling that way if she can't, instead of coming in cleaning up, she confronted you about how you keeping your house.
Mm-hmm.
See, that is the moment where you could actually feel some type of way.
Right.
But if she just comes in and do it, it's adding to you.
Yes, that's how she do.
It's for you. It's being appreciative of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of getting upset with her, it's that I'm motherly. I'm going to take care of my child.
Mm-hmm.
She can't help it. She's taking care of you how many years? Your whole life.
Right.
Why would she stop then? Just because you're running out the house.
Right.
Mom is gonna be mom.
I just feel you come to visit your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I can see you coming in, sitting there for an hour. Then you happen to go in my kitchen. You see 3 plates and a cup of spoons in there. If you feel like you want to wash the dishes, do that. But just don't come straight to the door and just finding stuff. You finding stuff. That's what she's doing. She's finding stuff. Like, I'm serious.
Well,
like,
you're just going to have to learn how to cope when she do that, because clearly she's not going to stop.
No, she's not.
So, in knowing this, that gives you the tools you need to be able to deal with it.
So what you're saying is, when I know she's coming to my house and I already had my head she feels clean, so let me go get mental prepared for this.
Take a deep breath. See, one of the things that can help with a mental disorder, and I do this myself, is meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation can be done in a short amount of time or a long amount of time.
Right.
It's up to the individual person.
Right.
But if you know she's coming over, say you know she's going to be there in about 30 minutes.
Right.
Okay, well, 15 minutes, you could be meditating because you already know she's coming and she's going to clean up.
Right.
So that way when she do come after you've meditated, you're going to notice a difference. You're not going to react the same way you used to.
Right.
And in mental awareness, it's learning the entire way. And mental disorders do not go away.
You know.
It's stuck with you until you pass on.
Mm-hmm.
And once people can actually deal with that, it'll make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
The journey will be a little bit easier. And there are a few things I learned from seeking help. Mindfulness, which kind of translate over into meditation. It's just a tool, basically. Set emotional boundaries with people. That's one thing. And act as if you're happy. You're good. You know how they say you
I'm
speak
not
things?
happy.
You know how they say you speak things into existence?
Mm-hmm.
You can act things into existence as well.
Yeah.
You put that out into the universe, and that's what's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is just an improvement, and improving on who you are as a person, how you handle things, how you react to people.
Right.
And pretty much, if you can kind of set out a schedule for yourself to include some of those tools to help you make your day go by easier, because every day you're going to deal with mental health. Some days are good, some days are trash.
Right.
And on those trash days, you'll begin to see some improvements here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like including seeing a therapist or even a psychiatrist. If you can get on Medicaid, if you're eligible, get it. If you can get Blue Cross, depending on where you are, go online, do your research. There's a lot of information out there that can help you get to where you need to be. There are centers just about everywhere.
Right.
If you have to go out of your town because you're so worried about what your people think, then go out of town. If it's like that, go to the next town. Go a town over, maybe 2 towns over. Whatever the setup is for you, as long as you go get help,
Right.
it will benefit you and your family, friends, co-workers, and everybody in the long run. Because what happens with you, it's like a ripple effect, and it affects everyone around you.
It does.
So it's best that we deal with this, especially if you've experienced trauma in the past. You have to confront it. You have to deal with it.
Right.
You're gonna have to learn how to calm yourself down. You're gonna have to learn how to rein yourself in, and don't go to too many places that you know is going to trigger you.
Right.
Not saying just be a recluse up in the house, but until you can level off some by using the tools like meditation, seeing a therapist, seeing a psychiatrist, or even group. If you're good with being around maybe 3-4 people, maybe 6 people in shares, and everybody's talking and, talking about their experience, what they've learned, what they've dealt with, and how they overcame some things. If you can do that, that's wonderful. Because I used to do that as well. And it is helpful talking about it, especially with people who truly understand.
Yes.
And that can actually make your day, your week, your month better.
It do.
So it's like it's like a teapot. You put a teapot, you remember the old teapots Granny used to have?
Top of the stove.
And then you go to hollering,
yeah.
screaming like a little miniature freight train.
Right.
It's like that. You holding all those emotions, those feelings, guilt, shame, anxiety, depression. You're feeling some type of way all the time. You're angry, then you're sad, and you want to hurt somebody or you want to hurt yourself. You're going through all of that. All of that is that water in that teapot.
Yeah, ready to just...
It's slowly churning, slowly bubbling until it bubbles over.
Right.
That teapot is screaming and everybody's looking at you like, what happened?
Right.
Who did it? Where? What we doing? Because you done clicked off.
Right.
That's that teapot. But if you're sitting there watching that teapot, you've been boiling that water. You've been dealing with your emotions, seeking a therapist and everything, getting help, making slight healthy changes in your lifestyle. You're going to catch that pot before it screams because you're going to know the water's ready.
Right.
So if you know Boonshika always talking mess, don't go fooling with Boonshika.
Right. Don't even go around that.
Let her be.
Right.
Or
What's her
Derek
name?
Boonshika. But if you know Derek always lying,
Right.
every story he tell is a lie, and you know he gonna say something crazy to you and set you off, and then you and all the bros is like, dude, why do we even hang with him?
Exactly.
Triggers.
Right.
Or you can even hear, this is the crazy part, you can even hear a song that can trigger. A certain song you listen to can take you back to a moment that you experienced something not so great.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can see a certain vehicle,
Right.
color vehicle, depending on what happened to you.
Right.
There are
Or a
triggers.
smell.
Yeah, a smell.
Yeah.
Hell, even taste.
Yeah.
And then for those who deal with the PTSD, they have severe nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
And that is challenging. Because it interrupts rest, and the body needs rest.
Right.
So if you're having nightmares and you waking up screaming, fighting, swinging,
Your
cussing,
body's tired, your mind is tired.
and then you go into the next day with that is a challenge.
Right. And some people don't understand that. They
Yeah.
think it's...
They think it's a
They
game.
think it's not... Some people think it's not real.
Yeah.
They
Like
think
it's just
people
something made up.
pretending. No.
It's not made up. It's real.
I used to think that until I got older, started experience life and everything, and now I see when people say I'm stressing or I'm depressed, or I'm tired. Don't mean they tired, they sleepy. Their body and mind could be tired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
They need help.
Right.
It's a cry for help. Don't ignore anyone's cry for help. Talk to them. Find out. Because if somebody is saying, oh, I'm tired, and they don't look tired, they might not be talking about they need to get in the bed, go to sleep tired. They might be tired of being here.
Right.
They might be, that boiling point is, that water is up over their head at that point. And that's their last attempt. And I know sometimes it can be time consuming to deal with a person with a mental disorder, but every life is worth it.
Right.
Every life is worth it. You were put here for a reason, and you could be doing something great. Or the person you know who's going through it could be meant to do something great. But if they don't get the help and then they kill themselves, that's a problem, because that's a beautiful life lost. When no one was listening, no one was paying attention. No one really had, the love in their heart to actually say, hey, what's going on with you? Do you need anything?
And you would look at people and think, no, she or he ain't going through nothing. They got everything going for themselves.
Right.
How you know that?
Right.
So you see them drive cars, dress good.
It's that mask,
They
and they don't see
job good, or
you
don't know.
But it goes back to that mask. So if we get rid of the mask, then people can really see you.
But that's the thing. You don't want people to really see
Exactly.
you.
That's the
you
point.
You don't know what, the judge, that's when the judging comes. You don't want them to.
But that's the part we have to get over. We have to set that bit aside and think our health is more important than what we think somebody's going to say, feel, or react.
Yeah.
Because at that point, to be honest about it, that part really doesn't matter. It's about your health and well-being.
Yeah.
And we got to push past that and go get that help.
Yeah.
Forget what Boone Shika thought or Derek thought
Right.
or Lil Man thought.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Your health comes first.
Yeah.
And once we can do that, things will get better. It can be better. There is light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
Yes, that's what they say.
And it's just like they say, finding the silver lining. You're alive. You're here. Somebody out there loves you. You're cherished. You're needed. Feel that way about self, too.
Yeah.
You're an awesome being. And you deserve happiness as well as healthiness.
Yes.
Mental, physical, and emotional.
Right.
So we got to, get that help so we can get that mind. Because wherever our mind goes is where the body follows.
True.
And it's hard to be sitting there trying to battle your mind and your heart and your hands because...
it's hard.
Yeah. It
Really?
makes it difficult. But that's where the therapy comes in. That's where the psychiatrists come in, because a lot of people may have chemical imbalancements, and that's pretty much what bipolar disorder is. It's a chemical imbalancement. And if they can get a person on the right medication to help balance them off, that can make it a little easier for them to, go about their daily activities.
Because you got some people that don't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
They struggle to put on clothes. And leave the house.
Yeah. It's a lot of people like that out there.
Yeah.
They're not alone. If you're listening to this, you're not alone. There are other people. You're not alone. And you can get through this.
Yeah.
You can get through this. Sometimes you have to speak to your own mind. Sometimes you have to speak to your body.
Yeah.
It's your body.
Right.
You're numero uno. So
Right.
to get everything realigned and back into place so you can function, if that includes going to see a therapist or a psychiatrist, if that includes doing meditation, if that includes taking some time for yourself to read a book, or for some people who like to go to the spa, go to the spa. If you can't afford to do that, have a spa night at home.
Right.
Take a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Monday, whichever day you choose.
Right.
Fill up your bathtub, put your candles in there, put your little music in there, man, get in that tub and sit there and soak and yes, so your mind and your body can rest, can breathe, can come together.
Right. And sometimes you just need to get away from people. If it's just a day, just in the house, no phones,
that's good.
no nothing, just like you said, meditate to yourself, read a book, just get your mind back on track, just
And if you're a person that like music, if music helps you, please listen to some music.
Right.
If you're having them mania moments to where things seem like it's out of control, I wouldn't advise listening to no rap music or something that's going to get you hyper.
Right.
That's not what you need at that moment. You need something calming, something soothing. If it's listening to nature sounds, if it's listening to the rain, if it's, whatever it is for you.
Soft piano playing music or...
Yeah, jazz or, like you said, piano. I mean, it's different things out there you can use as a tool to try to help self.
Right. If you can't afford to go to one of those places, you could do,
Right.
We just giving you little tips to do around the house, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and when it comes to your partner, your spouse, when you know you have a mental disorder or you feel like something's not clicking right within yourself, if that person loves you and you love that person like you think you do, you should be able to sit down and talk to them and tell them, look, today I was feeling like this, and yesterday I was feeling like this. When I clicked off on you, I thought about it. Something's not quite right. So that way you can be on the same page and there can be some understanding and you won't lose your partner.
Right.
So, I mean, there are things that can be done. You just have to build up the strength to do it.
Yes.
And once you make that first step, the other steps are going to come a little easier.
Yeah. And don't be scared to admit something is wrong.
Please.
If you don't know what it is, just say something is wrong. I don't know, but it's something. Only you and the good Lord know your body and what it's going through.
Right. And so when you do go to a therapist, be forthcoming. Let them know how you feel. Right. Don't sugarcoat or hide anything. Let them know exactly what it is. That way they can truly help you.
Right.
And you can work through some of that crap. And I call it crap because it can be something simple or something that's just been nagging at you. Something that you just needed to talk through and get, kind of get past it a little bit.
Right.
Now, it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. So when you understand that, it kind of makes it a little easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Because nobody's perfect. Right. So what, you have a mental disorder.
Right.
You're still a beautiful person inside and out. Just go get the help that you need. Now, I've heard before, I had a friend back in the day. She had a mental disorder. And it affected her intimacy with her partner.
That's true. It can.
Because he was not trying to, he was like, no, I can't. The more outbursts you have, the more, you've got confusion you've got going on, and you're, emotional roller coasters. Like, I can't get it up for that.
Right. And then, it's taking heed on your partner. Then you got some type, you got different type of, like you said, different type of depression. You got some people that eats.
Mm-hmm.
You got some people that
emotional eaters.
Yeah. You got some people that like to have sex. You got some people with sex drive be down.
And then you have some whose sex drive be out of control.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and they might cheat.
Yeah. It's different type of depression. So you got to look at everything. You just can't look at sadness or you just feel in the dark. No, it's different type of stuff you got to look at that can go on with you.
But that's one of the symptoms of, schizoaffective as well as bipolar disorder. Now, schizoaffective, let me tell y'all what that is. That is a person who has schizophrenia and bipolar. Mm-hmm. Those people can get paranoid and be, up under some feelings or whatnot, and not really be realizing it.
Right.
They might be going up and down like crazy. Now, within that disorder, hypersexual activity is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
They want it. Like you're not around, you're not
Right.
giving. You might be upset about something that person did or said or reacted or had an outburst the day before, so you're not really trying to touch them. They're going to go somewhere else and get it.
Right.
And it's almost as if they're not going to be able to help it.
And with me, by me dealing with, I don't know what I have, what kind of mental disorder, whatever. But like with me, when I'm feeling like that, or I'm having one of my days or something like mine, I don't have a sexual drive, period.
Right.
Like I might, I could go months without it. Like I don't crave for it. I just don't even come across my mind. Like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's an effect.
You know.
Mental disorders, the awareness should be greater than what it is, because mental disorders affect the body in so many different ways, and that's just another way that it does.
Right.
And it just shows another need to go get help.
Right.
So I mean, you guys, let me know what y'all thinking, and really pay attention to the body, listen to your body, and pay close attention to your family and friends, especially right now during this pandemic, because it's stretched out, it's long. A lot of people are still at home.
Right.
Some places are on lockdown again. Some places are actually lifting restrictions, which can kind of mess with some people's anxiety, because I actually had a thought about that. I was hoping our state wouldn't lift the ban.
You wanted to say lockdown?
No, I won't. As far as the mask wearing mandate, a lot of places have went into these phases to where they're no longer using the mask, and the bars is open.
It's a lot of people down here ain't using masks.
I can't do it. That affects my anxiety.
Matter of fact, I was just in a convenience store this morning before I came to work, and there was a lot of people in the store with no mask on. I felt like I was the only one with the mask on that I seen.
I'm going to keep wearing my mask.
Me too.
Because that makes my anxiety go up. Because, I mean, with all the different variants, and that affects the mental health as well, because that's almost like a trigger for a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people are scared.
Yes, because you losing your life. This virus could take you.
And that's
you don't know how your body going to react to that virus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it is, you playing Russian roulette with it.
Yeah.
Because you really don't know.
And you're freaking other people out. Let's
Right.
just put it out there. You driving some people's anxiety into the roof.
So please. Wear your mask. Wash your hands.
Pretty please. pretty please.
Yes.
And take it seriously, because for people with mental disorder, guys, ladies, try not to freak out too bad. Try to keep yourself calm.
Right.
Continue on your routine,
Right.
so you remain safe.
Right.
And try not to worry too much. Don't let it run your day or have you very isolated, because you're terrified and your anxiety level is high and you're jittery. And calm yourself down. Let yourself know it's going to be fine.
Right.
They're choosing not to, but you probably are choosing to stick with the,
Right.
like Yolanda said, wearing the mask, washing your hands, social distancing. Don't get so comfortable that you let yourself slip, because then that's going to make you go, if you get COVID, then you're going to really flip out mentally. And we don't want that either.
Right.
So, look, if you guys are just now tuning in, I've been sitting here with another content creator, Miss Yolanda, and we've been talking about daily health, mental awareness, about mental disorders, how it affects you, and we've even said what we've been through. And I appreciate you tuning in. And now, let's go on it. I'm finna go on and do it. I'm finna go on and put you out there, Yolanda. Now,
don't put me out there too bad.
It's gonna be healthy. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Yolanda, tell everyone about your show.
Well, I am a YouTuber, and I just did me a page up, and I want y'all to go and click on that button, and because
That's okay.
say the word. Go click on that button and subscribe to my channel. It is called The Yo Show, and it's basically about, hot topics. I'm going to be reviewing all types of different crazy products that I might get from out of the drugstore. I might go live sometimes, and we can have open topic discussion about anything. You have to be 18 and older. I don't care how old you is, 50, 60, 70, it doesn't matter. But,
tune in.
Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. So I want y'all to go and hit that button for me. I really appreciate it. Thanks, you guys.
Yes, and it has been a blast having you on the show.
Thank you. This has been a blessing to me. I really enjoy myself, and I'm hoping to do it again.
Oh yes, you most definitely. You got to come back because we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about, and then
yes, ma'am.
I might be popping in on your channel from time to time, messing with you.
Miss Tony.
Yes. So till next time, look, y'all keep y'all heads up. You guys are awesome.
Yes.
Take mental health seriously. Take care of yourselves, please.
Yes.
Yolanda, you got anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me on the show, and I really appreciate everyone that's listening and are going to listen, and I hope you just have a blessed and wonderful week, and much love, and all praise to the Most High.
Alrighty. And to close out, thank you to all my own day ones. You guys know who you are. They're the Facebook group for On One Radio. Shout out to you guys, and I want you to have a wonderful day. Big ups to Planet 13. If you're not aware of Planet 13, go look it up. The P13 app. Check it out. It's going down over there. You can also find On One Radio over there. You guys on YouTube, big ups to SP News Nuggets. Hun said hello. Y'all have a wonderful day, and just take care of yourselves.
You have been listening to Daily Health, brought to you by On One Radio, the talk show podcast station, where daily health is viewed as an ever-changing reality. For more, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, WordPress, as well as YouTube. The name over there is Tony On One. Podcasts are also available on your favorite podcast sites and apps. I am Tony Williams. Take care, and thanks for listening.